When will I be good enough to be all I wanna be? When?
So, I'm here very, very pleased to be sitting with Commissioner Alice. And
Just Alice
just
will do.
Alice. I love Commissioner Alice, but Alice. Yeah, and that really says it all to me as soon as you say that, because you walked in the room and I was like, oh, there's just this feeling of love, I'll have to say. This feeling of love that you're just such a warm woman. And I'm intrigued to know, firstly, why you are so warm and giving to the world in a fantastic way. How come you are as you are?
Upbringing, I think. Upbringing, I've never been asked that question before, so I'm trying to think through it, and I'm thinking upbringing. I had very good parents. My mother constantly took in a lot of people. We grew up with so many people who are not siblings. So we had all these cousins and all these uncles and aunties and everyone. So there is, you learn, you just grow up learning to cope with people and to speak with people. If you're living, so many of you in one family. I come from a huge family.
Do you? How big?
11 children.
Oh, 11, that's
yes,
fantastic.
yes, there's 11 of us.
Wow.
So when we go home, you should see us with our children. We make so much noise and we are all over the place. So maybe that's where it comes from. But I also work, the kind of jobs that I work in, the kind of work that I'm doing now is work that must, you must be there. You can't afford to stand aside and look in. You really have to be in there, because you constantly, I pray in the morning and I say, God, just remind me that I am working for people, so that when they show up in the office and they need attention, then I don't think that, no, what I should be doing is something else, that really I'm working for these people. So it's a kind of the commission that we work with, as Baba Jane explained, was formed after Kenya's post-election violence of 2007 and 2008. Yeah. I saw it coming because I was right in the middle of it, and I worked in a Human Rights Commission, and that commission, we spent so much time from 2005. 2005, we had a referendum in this country. We documented hate speech. We documented the kind of things people are saying about each other. We documented communities that were arming, and we said this is going to boil up soon. So as we were working towards the elections, we were making so much noise talking about, this is what's happening. And we were on the ground, we were writing reports. We had so much information. So when it blew up, we said, you see, we were so exhausted with how much information we had. Then the violence happened, and again we were in the thick of the violence. We were moving around with at some point we were even wearing Red Cross jackets just to make sure that you penetrate and you take care of people and you get people out of the conflict areas. And at that point, that's when I realized, because the kind of work that we used to do here in human rights was work related to advocacy, purely advocacy, because we did lots of human rights education. I actually founded the first human rights education department in the commission that I worked in. Yeah. But we spent too much time doing advocacy, just saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and getting it out and getting it to the media and getting it into all people that we could get to. But the violence taught me that, beyond speaking out, we have to do something.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to do something.
Yeah. And you're coming up with the solutions, aren't you?
So then the solutions began, because after the commission, I worked for about 1.5 years for an NGO that was very good with social justice issues and very good at bringing out issues through film, through through storytelling, through those kind of things.
Yeah.
And we documented, went throughout the country documenting what we call the voices of women in the post-election violence. Mm-hmm. And the women, we are talking about a situation where the post-election violence happened. There was no recourse in law. Victims were living side by side with perpetrators, still do. Everyone is traumatized. And so we were afraid that let's document the stories of these women so that one day these women can get to be heard. Yes. And they told us the most awful stories, most awful stories. But they spoke, and it helped that they were able to speak.
Yes.
Then we took the story round. We have these mobile cinemas.
Mobile cinemas?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So they drive from village to village,
yes,
in the remotest parts of Kenya. So you'll see the mobile cinema van coming along, and everyone is so happy.
Oh, you
don't have that, yeah?
No, I've never heard of that.
It's so nice. It's so we used to wait for that van and really wait, and then we'd see it coming. It was the only entertainment that we had when we were children. Yeah. And then they would show some films. And so now we did that so that people around the country can get to hear this story and get to know what's going on.